feeling good today.
What's going on?
What's up, my babes? What's up, my babes? What's going on, girl? How you doing? What's up, big boy? You know, Malika, life is just so good right now. I mean, I love the color right here, right there, the orange. You see the orange?
Like the blue skies,
You getting
too,
what I'm
right?
saying? This is what we've been waiting for. We going to the finals.
Oh, the Knicks are going to the finals.
We're going to the finals. We're
The
going
New
to the
York
finals.
Knicks.
Jaylen Brown, I hope you handle your business, but if you do, tomorrow, next week's going to be miserable. We got Boston. We going to get it.
So Stephen A. Smith just had his Knicks destroy Atlanta 101-40, and he's feeling invincible about their championship chances. This is peak Stephen A. Euphoric after wins, making bold predictions about facing Boston or Philly. We're breaking down whether his confidence is justified and what these matchups actually mean.
Jaylen Brown, I hope you handle your business, but if you do, tomorrow, next week's gonna be miserable. We got Boston. We gonna get it. We gonna get them. If it's the Sixers, Embiid, your brother, he gonna get hurt. I'm sorry, he just gonna get hurt, okay? And then, who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Orlando, it's gonna be Detroit. We don't know. It don't matter. Neither's ready. Neither's ready.
Orange and blue.
The numbers back up this confidence completely. New York just posted their largest playoff margin of victory in franchise history. They shot 52% from three, held Atlanta to 35% shooting, and out-rebounded them by 18. When you dominate that thoroughly, predicting the next round isn't arrogance, it's math.
Do you know they haven't lost since I went off? Do you see that motivational? Did you see that motivational speech I dropped on them? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Malika. This is how it goes. Okay, you got to get on them. Mikal Bridges wasn't handling his business. I was very upset. Carl Anthony Towns, he wasn't the focal point the way he needed to be. I was very upset.
There's actually statistical evidence here. Since his public criticism 3 weeks ago, the Knicks are 7-1 with a plus 16 point differential. Bridges is averaging 19 points on 48% shooting. Towns is getting 22 touches per game instead of 15. Sometimes public pressure creates accountability that translates to results.
Knicks were up with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, 101 to 40. I mean, it's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, there's an APB out. I can't find Ludacris because, you know, these guys chirp, all right? I couldn't find Ludacris. I couldn't find T.I. I don't know where they at. You know, all my peeps in Atlanta, they just got, they disappeared.
This 61-point blowout was historically embarrassing for Atlanta. It's the largest playoff deficit in Hawks franchise history and the worst home playoff loss in State Farm Arena. When you lose by more than 60 at home in the playoffs, your season doesn't just end. It becomes a cautionary tale.
And I don't blame them because it's going to be a long off season for those people in the ATL. There was no magic in that city. There was no magic in that city last night. And that's all I'm going to say.
Atlanta's future hinges on this humiliation motivating real change. Trae Young shot 3 of 17, their bench scored 8 total points, and they were booed off their own court. This isn't just a bad game. It's the kind of defeat that forces front offices to make dramatic roster moves.
Honestly, Malika, I think it might be Philly. I don't like the way Boston's look, and I'm worried about Tatum. I'm really worried. He said, Shams came on show. Shams said he's going to play tomorrow. He's going to play in Game 7. I'm worried about Tatum playing in that game. Tim Grover always told me for years, Michael Jordan's famous trick.
Yeah, relentless.
He said, hey, when you get an injury on one leg, you overcompensate on the other. And that's how it happens to the other leg. I'm worried about Tatum and his availability.
Tim Grover trained Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron for decades. His compensation injury theory is medically sound. When players favor one leg, they overload the opposite side. Tatum's already dealing with a wrist issue, and playoff intensity magnifies these biomechanical problems exponentially across a 7-game series.
I don't wish that on anybody. But it don't matter. I mean, either way, they both going down. It's just a matter of which one want to go down to New York. That's all I'm saying.
Madison Square Garden in the playoffs is legitimately different. The Knicks are 8-1 at home this postseason, averaging 113 points while holding opponents to 95. Home court advantage in basketball is worth roughly 3.2 points per game, but at MSG in May, that number jumps to nearly 6 points.
I just think that I just can't say enough about how I feel about Embiid, about how great he is, even hampered and injured. I just think that this brother, when he's on the basketball court, he's a difference maker. And I'm a huge fan of Tyrese Maxey, and this brother is something special.
This respect for Embiid makes the prediction more credible. He's not dismissing Philadelphia's talent, he's acknowledging that even a hobbled Embiid changes everything. When analysts give props to the opposition while still picking against them, it shows they're thinking strategically rather than emotionally about matchups.
I just don't think they're going to win this particular game, but I am of the mindset that when I look at Joel Embiid and the man can barely get off the floor and you still can't stop him. He ain't Jokic in that regard. He's hobbled, but he's so skilled. And I just think that the Sixers feed off of that. I think they will in game 6, which is why I think that they're going to force a game 7 before they lose.
Injured superstars often elevate teammates through pure inspiration. Embiid's playing on a torn meniscus and Bell's palsy symptoms, yet he's averaging 28 points against Boston. When teammates see their franchise player battling through that pain, it creates a psychological edge that analytics can't measure.
There were plenty of people who picked Boston to contend for the Eastern Conference title this year, yet here they are getting bounced first round by the Sixers. So when you look at this, what went wrong for the Celtics?
Well, what went wrong was Joel Embiid was not in the plans for the Celtics to have to deal with.
Boston built their entire defensive scheme around Embiid being unavailable. They practiced small ball lineups, prepared switching schemes for Maxey and George. When Embiid returned in Game 3, the Celtics had to completely recalibrate their playoff preparation mid-series. That's nearly impossible to do effectively.
As you see him here, triple threat and turning his back, understanding that Boston just doesn't have anybody big enough to deal with him inside, being that type of force. And every time throughout the game, especially tonight, Boston tried to hit them with a run. Joel Embiid just comes through for another bucket, another way to calm the crowd and calm his teammates, to let them know that there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel if he's healthy.
Elite centers control game flow beyond the box score. Embiid's presence forces Boston into different defensive rotations, changes their rebounding assignments, and alters their transition opportunities. Even when he's not scoring, he's dictating how both teams have to play. That's true superstar impact.
And I think about the makeup of the team and say, when Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns are going at it, we're going to get to turn and look at the other side of the court and say, hey, Tyrese Maxey and Jalen Brunson are getting ready to go at it. And the excitement of seeing a backcourt and a frontcourt matchup that I can't wait to see. You already had battles with the Knicks and Philly in previous years and previous times. But now for this to brew up again.
These matchups are basketball chess. Maxey versus Brunson is two explosive guards who both average over 25 points. Embiid against Towns is post moves versus shooting range. When you have elite talent at multiple positions, it creates compound problems that defenses can't solve with simple adjustments.
You did not have to double team anyone on the Philadelphia 76ers, and no disrespect to Maxey, but you could let Maxey get 30 points. You can have a BJ Edgecombe get 30 points or 28 points. That's only 58 points. Where the rest of the baskets come from? But when Joel Embiid scores, he also can get your big men in foul trouble because he's also playing from the post. So his ability to score from so many different areas, you have to double him.
Double teams create mathematical advantages. When Embiid demands two defenders, Philadelphia essentially plays 4-on-3 basketball. That's why Maxey's shooting 45% from 3 this series. He's getting clean looks instead of contested shots. One dominant player makes everyone else's job exponentially easier.
You have to come and double team him, which now opens up the floor for Maxey and Edgecombe to get easy 20 points instead of a tough 20 points. That's the difference. They go home and don't have to use the ice tub when they play with Joel Embiid. They can go home, they can go out, they can they can play with the kids.
Playing with a dominant big man is physically different. When Embiid commands doubles, Maxey and George get wide open shots instead of fighting through screens. Less energy spent creating offense means more energy for defense. It's why championship teams need that one player who makes basketball easier for everyone else.
Listen, It's an emotional roller coaster. It's all right for us as men to show our vulnerabilities and to show our emotion every now and then. You did it last week, Shanae, when you were talking about the Houston Rockets when they were down. Look at them now. They're about to tie the series tonight.
Passionate criticism often motivates better than hollow praise. Players respect analysts who hold them accountable because it shows genuine investment in their success. When criticism comes from knowledge rather than hatred, it creates the kind of pressure that elite athletes actually thrive under during playoff moments.
The New York Knicks, we closing this out. We appreciate what we saw from the Atlanta Hawks. Very good season, young team, got some promise. Bravo. It was nice. The ATL, you go down tonight. Knicks closing them out. Queens in the building, baby. Queens in the building. Knicks closing them out tonight. They closing them out.
This shows real basketball knowledge, acknowledging Atlanta's potential while staying confident. The Hawks do have young talent in Johnson and Daniels, but playoff experience matters. Giving respect while predicting victory demonstrates he's analyzing matchups objectively rather than just talking trash about opponents.
It was a better day for me to be at the LA Lakers game the other night, and Malika Andrews came over and gave me this big, fabulous hug. And you know what I'm saying? And I was looking for my girl, Shanae, and I couldn't find her. I was like, where she was. And everybody saw.
You found my sister, though.
Everybody, that's right. The sister was there giving me love right there. Everybody saw the love and they gave me love. It was very, very touching. And I'll be there Sunday because they're going to lose tonight.
This authenticity is why he connects with audiences. He's not just a sports analyst, he's someone who genuinely cares about relationships and shows vulnerability alongside his basketball knowledge. That balance between professional analysis and personal connection makes his opinions feel more trustworthy to viewers.